Good morning everyone. Welcome to my channel. I am Angel from Lima and this is the second book that I have read after going to the Ricardo Palma Book Fair, which is until the 8th of December. Well, this is called The Dandy of the Night. What is a dandy? A dandy is a rather old-fashioned term that refers to a man that looks like the one that you have here on the cover. You know, um, an elegant man interested in good manners, fashion, a cosmopolitan man. Well, the author is my friend Jhonatan Ramírez. Jhonatan was born in the region of Ancash 30 years ago. He's a police officer and also he has studied finance, management, and global businesses. This is his third book, and I believe that it was a story, a kind of long story. However, it is a series of short stories. I will tell you how many in a moment. And let's start. The first one is the one that gives its name to the book, The Dandy of the Night. A man who had everything, and then it turned out that he loses his wife, his son, so he has nothing. It is a story of redemption, how low a person might fall and how they can get over that. The second story is called Under the Shadows of a Eucalyptus Tree, how parents impose on decisions on children, even relevant decisions such as which person you will marry, and they promise even the family's wealth in case they don't achieve that. The third story is called Conversing with the Talking River. The Talking River is the nickname of the river Rimac here in our city. A man who cheats his girlfriend with another one, losing both. So why does he ask the river? What does the river reply? Okay, the reply of the river is funny in that kind of sad story because it is in the form of a poem. It is expressed in verse. The next story is called A Diary Lost on the Metropolitan Bus. Well, a man is kicked out by his jealous wife because of a diary. But who was the owner of the diary? And what relationship did the man have with that woman? Well, the next story is called Lunar Eclipse. Probably the shortest one. It has very very few pages. The last line is very powerful, and it tells us everything. The character, who is a very old man, says, "How ironic life is. Lunar eclipse came to me and not to the moon." I don't need to say anymore. The next story is called The Return of Morgana. Morgana is a girl, a poor poet in love with an uptown girl, Morgana. Are his poems enough to conquer her? That's the question. The next one is called Promise. Apparently a cliche, right? A cliche, sorry. The song of a servant in love with the landowner's daughter. So how would he get her heart, and what promise that he make in order to achieve that? So these two stories deal with that situation of men in disadvantage loving women who, for one or another reason, do not notice their existence. Right? The next story is called The Advent, ambition that eventually leads to death in a town with few wealthy and lots of poor people. The next one is called The Last Pothole, corruption by an ex-mayor, a former mayor. This corruption is punished with death, but not only death, but also silence and oblivion. The next story is called Bad Rabies. Well, the literal translation is mala rabia, which refers to a traditional dish in the north of Peru. I can I can summarize this story in a very famous proverb. A liar is not believed when he tells the truth. And I would add that we are slaves to our past bad actions. Sometimes our reputation is never fully recovered, and this is what happens in this story. The next story is probably the longest one. It is called The Continuity of the Wrong Path. The eternal dilemma, a job I don't like but pays a lot of money, or something I enjoy but is not profitable. What should I choose? It's difficult to prove our parent that he was wrong when he is not alive anymore. And the last story is called The Immediate Anticipation. The general, had a loving wife and a young, beautiful, and arrogant mistress. Can he get away with this? Or he is caught, in the middle of these two women. Well, as the back cover states, these urban and Andean, when I say Andean, it means rural stories, invite us to reflect. And I would also add that these stories deal with redemption, or on the contrary, the fall of the great. Situations that might happen to anyone in some cases, and at the same time, some other situations that are non conventional, as in the case of the man asking and shouting at the river. There is an elegant style, an elegant prose, baroque at times, I must say, especially when it comes to people's names, Melquiades, Primitiva, Morgana, and another name that I had never ever heard in my life, Anfiloquio. Those proper names in Spanish that maybe are kind of old fashioned. And also the curious, for me, use of the verb platicar instead of conversar or hablar. This means talk, have a conversation. He uses repeatedly, this word. Why? Is maybe that his idiolect, perhaps. So, published last month by Apogeo, a national publishing company. The 100 pages of these 12 short stories make us part of them and encourage us to put ourselves in the character's shoes. So that's why I recommend reading this book. Bye bye.